I'm super excited. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, go ahead and check out the information box down below. You can check out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. Also, the witchy shop that James and I own, a Desert Cauldron. We have a sale going on over there. Lots of witchy goodies that maybe you want to gift a fellow witch in your life. But lots of other good stocking stuffers. Definitely go check it out. And my shop actually has a sale until Yule, so 22% off. Definitely go check it out. All right, I'm super excited today. You guys had a vote on the public poll, Patreon poll, YouTube member poll about what you guys wanted as we gear up for Yule. And it looks like we're going to be creating a Yule spread together. It's been a while since we had a group spread that we've created. So you guys come up with the questions and we'll create a nice little spread for ourselves. And of course, we'll do our weekly reading. We'll have our guided meditation, all that good stuff. But so happy to see you guys. Let's see. Looks like we have Susie here. Hello, hello. And Aurora says, marry me. I didn't think I was going to be here today. Let's see, everybody's just saying hello, skis. Liesel, what's up? Andrew, hello. And we're asking Liesel how the reading went for her. Peg is here. Hello. She's hello, lovelies. Oh, goodness. Peg says, yippee, I got front row seats this time. Nice, nice. Susie has linked Liesel's YouTube channel if you want to check her out. Liesel's guitar, she has so many wonderful things over there. She's been making some wonderful instruments, so definitely go check those out. And she had a little concert that she did, which was freaking amazeballs, by the way. Love the blue hair. It's definitely suits you. I love color, you know? Aurora says, I'm still waiting to move into my new house. I don't know if I'm supposed to call the people helping me or if the weather's complicating things, but we'll see. Yeah, the weather's been a little funky lately, but it is a beautiful day today. Looks like it's going to be in the 60s tomorrow and for the next couple of days before whatever. They're creating weather modifications so that we have a snowy Christmas. So they want to bring that 60-degree weather down so they could do that, but we'll see what Mama Gaia has to say about that. Lisa says, bless up Susie. I've composed some much better music on Gemma now. She's the only thing I want to play at this time. And we love Gemma too. We love your instrument. Lady Knight, hello, hello. How are you? And Jahid, hello. Oh my gosh, so many wonderful homies. So as you can see, we got the Yule tree right behind us. Let's see if I can center it a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. And I'll come a little bit closer. All right. So, how is everybody today? Do you guys have any plans for today? Do you guys have any plans for this week? Are you celebrating Yule? Are you celebrating the winter solstice? If so, what are your plans? Is it elaborate? Is it something very simple? Is it just something that you're going to do internally? Maybe a meditation? Would love to hear. And those of you that celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, or those of you that are celebrating Hanukkah or any other holiday, let us know how it's going. What are you guys doing? Any baked goods, any crafting going on, any spell crafting going on? We'd love to hear. Okay. Let's see. Aurora said, last time I saw you on Dr. Mystic's channel, Lady Knight. Lady Knight says, I just got my gallbladder taken out a week ago after a month of pain. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully you're in recovery now and no moss pain. Leave that behind with the gallbladder. Susie said, Lady Knight, sending you love and healing. Yes, tons and tons of healing. Perhaps we'll do a healing guided meditation at the end of our chat today. Aurora says, oh, I've been through that myself. Goddess protect you, Lady Knight. Lisa says, solstice on the 21st. Woo woo. And Susie's saying, and congrats again on your engagement. Yes, that's right. Lady Night got engaged, and I'm so happy for her. Okay, you guys. Okay, okay. All right, so before we get started today with all of our wonderful readings and creating our Yule spread together, I want to give some shout outs first and foremost to everybody who hangs out in our live chats and everybody who watches the replays. Mwah! I love you guys, all of my subscribers, all 9,700 plus of you. And thank you to everybody who is a YouTube member. You notice who they are because they have a little kitty head next to their name. So Liesel, Kayla, Jamie, Caitlin, love you guys so much. And also my Patreon homies. If you head over to Patreon, I have different tiers that people like to sign up for. Some people just like the general monthly meditations that I do. I do some guided meditations over there. I also have some monthly magical blog posting that I do and any other things for my general tier. I also have a crystal tier, which actually we just got finished talking about Aura Purple Fluorite in my recent crystal post. And I've been sleeping with this under my pillow. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about last night's dream. It was wild. But anyway, this comes from the Diana Maria mine in the UK, which has some of the finest specimens of fluorite. But that is a purple fluorite with a little bit of a titanium treatment to give it that aura sheen to it. But anyway, so I also have a healing tier. I also have a special live chat tier that is just for my patrons. I also have monthly readings that I do for a different tier of mine. But anyway, to all of my patrons, love you guys so much. Myrna, Liesel, Sarah, Heather, Lily, Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Syrian, Brandy, Samara, Jason, and Brian. Love you guys. Mwah! Okay, so put that there. All right, so perhaps we'll talk about this little Christy and last night's dream because it was off the heezy. Let me tell you, I didn't know where I was when I woke up. I was like, it took me a while for it all to sink in. Um, Lady Night saying, thank you so much. Jahid says, living my best life. All is well. Praise Allah. Traveling next weekend, time with family, grateful. Well, masalame. Kathy, hola, how are you, kittens and Loki? They're doing well with their daddy. Wally and Loki are doing great. And we're doing good over here on the property. Let's see. Aurora says, I'm unprepared today. No decks or anything. Well, you know what? Just bring down that good old fashioned intuition. No worries. Okay, hold on. I'm going to rub my screen real quick. I got a little smudge there. All right. Lisa says, hi, everyone, joining the chat. Lady Knight says, I normally don't dream or remember dreams, but since the beginning of December, it's been almost every night and crazy stuff. Yeah, that was something actually James said this morning. He said he's sad because he doesn't dream, and I'm sure he does. He just doesn't remember them. So it's like, you know, the polar opposites of twin flames. Like one thing that I do really well, it's, you know, a little bit harder for him and vice versa. So I've got all the crazy, wild, vivid dreams where him, it's a little bit harder to remember. Oh, Susie's talking about my earrings here. You know, I got to replace the batteries in these things because they actually blink. It's like pretty cool. Little disco party on my ears, you know. I have to thank my auntie Caroline, who's crossed over in spirit. She's the one that got me these, and she always got me cool like Christmas socks, little Christmassy earrings, the sweatshirts, things like that. She was the best when it came to like holidays and things like that, birthdays. Peg says, I got my Harley Davidson playing cards. Hell yeah, love it. Um, Andrew says, I have also been remembering wild dreams more often. Susie said, I used to be a Harley Davidson owner. Can you picture that? My ex was way into motorcycles. Susie. I love it, girl. Oh, Peg says, why do some people remember dreams and others don't? That is a good question. I'm actually not quite sure. It could be more lucid dreaming on some people's part. It could be just perhaps maybe it's more at a soul level. For some people at a soul level, They need to work through some of their dreams or their astral travels in their conscious experience, their conscious waking life. Maybe for some people, it's not as important to remember it consciously, but more for it to seep into the subconscious. So maybe, so you can kind of go about your day and you're just kind of integrating what your dream was about, even if you don't remember your dreams. I don't know. That's just my speculation. Aurora said, same, Andrew, mostly Sims based dreams. I have to stop playing. Nice. Lady Knight says, I wish I didn't dream. I always wake up exhausted and I've been really in them and then I'm tired most of the day. Um, that does happen. Sometimes my dreams are a little too intense and then I'm like all wiped out. So maybe it's a blessing for some people that they don't remember their dreams. Okay, well, speaking of those dreams, let's let's talk about what this little fluorite did. So first of all, I love fluorite. I think it's a very underrated crystal. I know that there are some of you guys that love working with fluorite, but it just seems like, in James's shop, James has a crystal shop. It's called Light of Riga over on Etsy. And it's harder, it seems, for him to sell like his purple fluorites, his green fluorites, his purple and green fluorites. And some of them are they're attracted to like UV. They're like UV reactive. So like you go out into the sun, it'll be like bright purple, but like you come inside and all of a sudden it's like a light blue. It's pretty cool. But it's not just their beauty and their color because obviously they're more than just, what's on the surface, what's on the outside, as all crystals are. But on the inside, whew, they're pretty powerful, especially purple fluorite. It has everything to do with, memory recall and helping one study and learn, but also helping you to awaken to, higher levels of understanding and learning in the spiritual realm. And also for dream recall and very vivid dreams. And that's why I wanted to have purple fluorite with me underneath my pillow. And the aura sheen that is put on here, some people don't like treated crystals like titanium treated and things like that. But what I feel the aura does to this particular crystal, it gives it more of like a zingy feel to it, which you might think, well, that would be hard for me to go to sleep. Actually, the opposite. It helps me go to sleep right away, but the dreams are vivid. So I think that's where the zinginess comes in. Um, it is harder to ground with this, so I don't really use it like as a form of grounding meditation. But if I'm wanting to go into a deep meditation, a very vivid one, where maybe I'm just going to astral travel during the meditation, then I'm going to use purple fluorite, especially this aura colored one. But anyway, so last night's dream, it was kind of, at first it was all over the place, but there was a part of the dream, and it's the last part that I remember. And for some reason, James and I had to go to back to our homes, like our family homes. So I don't know, maybe he had to help his parents or something, but he had to go back to Palo Alto to be with his mom and dad to take care of somebody and take care of some family business. And I had to go back home to San Diego. And I remember in the dream, I was really sad because I wanted to be with James, but I knew I had to do some family work. So actually I'm consciously doing shadow work in my dreams. Like I'm aware that I'm doing healing and shadow work, which is um, something that I haven't really had yet with any other crystal. But the past couple of nights with this little baby here, I've actually been consciously doing like in my dream, like, all right, here is how I'm gonna heal my shadow. Like show me where I need my deepest healing. And it was pretty awesome. But I'm back in San Diego and I was like, man, it's so warm, here in San Diego, like up in the mountains, it's so cold. And my mom was there, but and of course, I have a lot of trauma and things like that surrounding my mom. But in my dream, I was so happy to see her, and she had a big smile on her face, and she was very happy to see me. And it was just this very loving connection. And I told her, I was like, Mama, it's time for me to heal with you. There are a lot of things I have to say to you, a lot of things I have to get off my chest, and I'm sure there are a lot of things that you have to say to me. And I think it's time that we had like a real, genuine heart to heart, and we really talked it out. And she's like, "Yeah, baby, I'm here to talk to you." And I was like, "Sweet." I was like so happy. And her sister, my Auntie Jenny, was there. And my Auntie Jenny says, well, now that you're back in San Diego, she says, are you going to go back and work at the school? And at first I was like, oh man, I'm back in San Diego. I'm not on my homesteading anymore. It means I have to get a job. And then I realized, you know what? No, I get to do whatever I want to in this lifetime, so I don't have to be forced into a job because that's what the matrix tells me to do, that I have to, do that to make money. I know that I'm going to be like okay no matter what. So I was like, maybe I'll look into the archaeology I wanted to do when I was a little kid. And my aunt's like, that's a wonderful idea. She says, what else do you want to do? I was like, well, I do archaeology on my property already. I was like, and I think all the fun things I want to do I already do. Like, I don't need to go back into the matrix. And she's like, okay, okay. And it was just it was it was just so amazing. And my mom and I were like running hand in hand. We were like running across, like jaywalking. We are like running across the street. We were laughing, and there was just like, it felt so good for me to open my heart and just like tell her everything. She was opening her heart. And then my aunt was telling me, she says, sweetie, we got to go back to where the majority of your programming came from, where you decided that the person you are in the world actually came from. So we're going to go back to where you were programmed, where they decided that this is the person you're going to be, this is your personality, this is how you interact with people. Basically, the adult that you are, we're going to go back to where that actually came from. And I was like, okay. And so she says, get in meditation. And I was meditating in my dream, like literally had my eyes closed, and I was in meditation like I normally see in my dream with my eyes closed, but I'm dreaming. And normally I'm not like got my eyes closed in my dreams. So that was cool. So I'm meditating in my dream, and she says, what do you see? And I said, it's the first day of kindergarten. And she says, okay, who's your teacher? And I said, Miss Grissom, or Miss Garine, sorry. So I was like, Miss Garine. And she was like, okay, Miss Garine. And I said, it's Catholic school. And she's like, all right. And she's walking me through it. And I said, I could see this girl, Nicole Lee Stander. I could see her in the front row, and she's got her slingback shoes. I said, I could see all the, like my friend Nicole Tangora that became my best friend for at least a couple of years. And I was like, and the teacher who threw out a cookie that I had in my pocket because she said, your mom and your family don't exist here. I am basically your master in this classroom. And I said, I was very sad. And she said, that's when your programming started. She says, it started in the classroom, and it started on the first day of school. She says, that's when, she says, everything about you was shifting and changing. She says, you spent the first 4.5 years home with your mother while your father was at work. And she says, so you have your mother's programming to heal. She says, and then you have your school programming, basically society programming to heal. She goes, but it starts with the very first day of school. And I was like, okay. And like tears are streaming down my face in my dream. But when I woke up, I was already crying. I was like literally crying. Um, and it just like felt so good to be able to see like the moment when all the programming took place. And she said, and also like look at everybody there. She says, get into the feeling of when you didn't know anybody. And I said, well, I was very scared. I didn't know who that teacher was. That face wasn't familiar to me. All the faces in the classroom weren't familiar to me yet because they weren't my friends yet. I said, I was just the new kid. I was just a stranger. And I said, and I didn't really know who I was yet. And she says, and that's the moment you have to get back to. Get back to when you don't know who you are. She says, and that's where the reprogramming takes place. She goes, you're going to let go of all of that stuff, all of the schooling, all of the discipline, all of the I want to be a good kid, all of the I want to get good grades, all of the I want to please my parents, all the times your parents disciplined you to do good in school. She says, all of that was programming to make you the adult that you are when you wake up. And she's like, but we're gonna let go of that today. And I was like, yes. And so anyway, so when I woke up, I was a little like disoriented because I was like, where am I? And I realized I was in Arizona. I was in our little home, and James was right next to me. And I just like hugged him so hard. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here, James. I thought you went home to your family." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy." And I was just like, "I'm so happy to be here." So, and I'm getting emotional again because it was a very emotional dream. But what I wanted to say is that's what fluorite did. So I'm gonna leave that at that. Just, whew. But I've had some very intense dreams like that lately, where it's like, no more waiting. We're getting to the core of this. We're releasing a lot of stuff. So, woo! On that note, I think I have to take off my sweater. It's getting warm. Um, but yeah, it was just really nice to be able to do that healing in my dream, and it was just so real. I've had vivid dreams before, and I've had lucid dreams before, but this is the first time where I was slightly aware that I was dreaming, but at the same time, I thought it was reality. Like I thought it was real. And, I mean, according to the channelings that we've done, the dream world is a form of reality. And this is also another form of a dream, where in that reality, this is the dream, and I understand that. It was just for me to fully believe that I was in that world, and it was time worked different. Like I thought I was there for a very long time, and, I guess I was only asleep for maybe 5 or 6 hours, where in my dream it seemed like it was 5 or 6 days, that was going on. Anywho, wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe you got some fluorite laying around, and if you just want to set that intention of like really getting to some really core shadow stuff programming, maybe you want to put that purple fluorite under your pillow. I suppose green fluorite would work as well, but just me personally, purple fluorite, that's my jam, man. All right, let's get back here. I missed some of your comments. Um, oh yeah, Susie was putting James's Light of Riga shop in case you guys are interested. Caitlin said maybe purple and green combined remind people too much of the Joker. Maybe. Susie says, I've heard that the crystal we don't gravitate towards, we should work with. I think that makes sense. And Caitlin says, which reminds me, AFI is opening for 30 Seconds to Mars next year in Missouri. Hopefully, I can snag good tickets. Ooh, very cool. I hope so. And she said, Davey Havoc and Jared Leto in the same show. That's a must see. Very cool. And Lady Knight says, such a cool dream journey. Susie says, I bet you were a cute little Tara kindergartner. Oh, dude, man. My mom had nicknamed me Chipmunk Cheeks because I had these huge, like, chipmunky cheeks. And I hadn't quite browned up yet. So I was, my nana says that I look like a little doll, like a little porcelain doll, because I had my eyes were super, super black, and I had very, very black hair to the point it was blue in the sun, like it shone blue because it was just very dark hair. Um, it was kind of curly, and yeah, I was just like uber pale until I hung out in the sun, and then you know the Filipino and, and the Native American all came out, my Mexican. um, and let's see. Aurora says, I was constantly supervised in public school because the teachers believed I was a bad child. They were like vultures. It got so bad, mom decided to homeschool me. Probably a good choice. Like I'm a proponent for homeschooling. This is coming from a public school teacher. I am a proponent for homeschooling. Be the infinity. She says, Chiron transits are heavy. I agree. Susie says, I just drew Tea Dragon from Garden Dragons Relax. Self-care today. Will do. Andrew says, I was the school brain and good kid, even when I grew my hair and went punk, good grades, no problems. Susie said, Caitlin, sorry to hear about the teachers. No child is bad. I agree. I agree. It's just figuring out a way to talk to them, connect to the kid. Not every kid is a cookie cutter, so you can't have like a blanket way of teaching everyone, which is why I think homeschool is fantastic. Who better to understand them than parents and things like that. Let's see. Lisa says, "Yeah, I'm glad I stopped going to school after the age of 13. Looking back, yep." Andrew says, I'm also sorry to hear about bad experiences with teachers. Caitlin said, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, they even said I was holding my pencil incorrectly. Dude, they used to do that to me. And I was only in Catholic school for a couple of years, parochial school, until I went to public school when we moved. But dude, it was hardcore. Just yeah, really getting on my case for because by first grade I was supposed to be writing cursive and um, you were doing math and starting to write paragraphs and things like that in first grade. It's kind of crazy when kids should be playing and experiencing the world, I believe. But it was like more about don't look outside. Nothing out there matters. It's all about holding your freaking pencil properly. So I'm gonna be working on healing that. B says, I find even my muggle job, I see people like they are kids, the people pleasers, the class clowns, the bullies, etc. You know what? That's something I noticed like when I was a teacher and you got the kids in the classroom, but also the other teachers, all of us, we were just kids in a classroom too. Like yeah, you definitely have your class clowns. You got the kids that stand up and talk back to the teacher, aka the principal. You got those that just stay quiet and want to get through the day. Yeah, it's we don't change really much. We like to think we do. We like to think, oh yeah, I grew up and that was a long time ago. That was kid stuff, but that really does follow us. And that's and as people that are conscious of that, where that's our job to go back and decide, do we want to continue on that journey or do we want to go back and release some stuff and maybe you know find different versions of ourselves, find maybe our talents that have been suppressed or you know that's why I like this spiritual journey or whatever journey you want to call it. I don't really consider myself any sort of like follow any one belief system or one religion or anything. It's just I'm just on a journey to like find out the real me without any influence of the outside world. Just kind of going inwards and then becoming that person and then influence my outwards reality because I've changed my inward reality, not because I changed my outward reality, hoping that it would change my inward reality. And that's something I had to learn as an adult, where I thought if I just moved to a new place or I moved here or I ran away here, that I would all my problems would be left behind. But well, that was erroneous. But that was something that I had to learn before I made the move here, where it's like, you're not leaving any sort of problems behind. The reason you're moving here is because you want to face all of those problems. You want to face all of that programming and you're ready to leave it behind. Not that this is going to be some sort of band aid. This is actually going to rip that band aid off and this is going to help me heal. So I'm all for it. And that's why I want to have that retreat here, that hashtag burning sage, because I feel like this place is really good, the energy of it to help people. And I don't really consider James and I any sort of guru, but we just want to share like our experiences and we want to experience your journey with you here. Um, and who knows when hashtag burning sage would happen, but that's definitely something one day we would like to do. Let's see here. Um, Susie was saying, I feel that is child abuse, Caitlin. Hugs. I agree. And Aurora's like, right? B says, I got ridiculed because my handwriting, I lost all respect for my teacher after that. Dude, they hated my handwriting. They basically said that they told me in first grade that I was going to grow up to be a loser because I had poor handwriting, because I didn't want to handwrite. I wanted to draw. Like I was a little artist. So, I don't give a care about writing. Then I grew up to be an English teacher, but I think that was part of my programming. But anyway, Lisa says, sounds good to me, Tara. Peg says, message for collective present, spades and ace of spades. Nice. Aurora says, I admit I was a wild child, but most of the things I got in trouble for, like throwing back a rock at a boy who threw it at me first, or the whole teachers insisting I had lice despite 3 doctors. Yeah. Susie said, hashtag burning sage, I will be there. Wouldn't want to miss it. Um, Caitlin said a letter saying I didn't were ridiculous. Yeah, my parents were always being called in because I was a bad kid. They kept saying I was the bad kid. I talk out of turn. I talk back to the teacher. Um, I was kind of a class clown. I like to heckle from the front or the back. I preferred sitting in the front row because I wanted this teacher to see that I could heckle to her face. Um, and just yeah, I was probably pretty wild. I liked to run around. I always had skinned knees. I always had scabs all over my knees because I was always running. I played really rough. I guess I was kind of a tomboy, but so were all my friends, you know? So it's just, yeah. You know, and I don't think I was bad at all. I think I was just wild, like nature, like most kids. Just being a kid, really. Peg says, Queen of Spades is considered to be a sign of intelligence, representative of judgment that is practical, logical, and intellectual, um, lucrative, and makes her plans ahead of time. Susie's like, shame on them. Yes. Lisa said, I was bullied by teachers. I wasn't prepared to take this from them. Yeah, but and you know, part of my healing is realizing that I had those teachers in my reality, even at a young age, for a reason. They were teaching me something, not just, you know, the literal teaching me something in a classroom. And that's what I'm going back to heal so I could be grateful that they were in my life, even if, you know, just looking at it from the outside, it's like, man, they were, you know, crappy teachers. But what was the lesson there? What was I supposed to learn? What was I supposed to see? Why was I vibrating at that frequency where I would invite that into my life? Like what was going on in my home life, and how can I heal that now as a conscious adult? So I'm going back, being grateful for all those teachers, no matter what they did to me, showing love and gratitude for them, for everybody that's involved, my parents, myself, so that I can actually let it go. Otherwise, it just stays there and just continues to fester and it continues to be a part of my reality. And I don't want it to be part of my reality anymore. So, um, let's see, Peg said, oh yeah, she was saying, and Caitlin says, I'm talking kindergarten, by the way. Yep, that was kindergarten. Peg says this was reaching heightened levels of, or they were maybe reaching heightened levels of self-awareness. Susie says, so do I, scabs. I still have a huge scar on my knee. So do I, my right knee. I don't have any feeling in part of that knee because of a massive scar from some stitches I got there. Peg says, sounds like it was tuned into your dream. I know, right? Susan said, I loved playing. Tara, this is healing just talking about it for me. Thank you. Hey, you're very welcome. That's what this place is for. That's what these live chats are for. So we can all, you know, share our experiences, our journeys, maybe tell some funny stories, you know, just whatever is needed. B said, teaching it for a bit myself, I realized that the teachers were going through things too, especially at schools with funding issues. Yeah, I mean, I've worked at all sorts of schools, and the schools, you know, had come up in my dream, like I told you guys. And I was thinking about all the different schools I worked for. I worked in really low income neighborhoods, I worked in very affluent neighborhoods. The students, no matter what was going on at home, they were pretty much mm, they were pretty much just, I mean, the common similarity is that they were just kids. They were just kids trying to figure out who they were, um, based on their parents, based on their society, their, you know, surroundings, based on what the teachers were doing, based on what the school was that they went to, their friends that they had. And every kid's just trying to figure out, like, who am I? Like, where am I in this world? Like, what am I doing? And so they try all these different things. Um, and sometimes it's things that adults would perceive as bad. Other things they do, adults perceive as good. But it's really neither bad nor good. They're just experimenting. They're just trying to figure things out. And that's something that when I was going through, and I was teaching for so long, that, you know, even I was programmed as a teacher that, like, when a student does this, you send them to the principals or you kick them out, or, you know, they're being bad, they're being disruptive because, you know, I'm trying to do this thing that I'm taught to do, you know, teach the curriculum, you know. But the curriculum is just a blanket thing. It's not for every kid. And every soul is unique. Although yes, we are all one, all of those different individual soul journeys make up the unique one. So everybody has to have all their unique experiences. Some people had great experiences in school. Some people had horrific experiences in school. Some people learned, valuable lessons about themselves. Some people learned lessons about the world. Some people, could see their parents from a different light because of school. And it's just all, it's different for everybody. But yeah, maybe the whole group schooling thing, maybe we could restructure, or maybe we go back to community schooling where it's like homeschooling, where there's maybe a few parents who get together, everybody brings the local kids in, and we all teach together. We teach based on, yes, we want to teach them to read and write, but based on their unique energy, which means people would have to be tapped into energy. You'd have to be tapped into being able to see past the outward actions of a child and be able to see them at their soul level. And I think maybe that's what New Earth is. I don't know. We'll see. Aurora says, the furthest I ever got in public school was second grade. Mom homeschooled me from that point. Susie said, I just drew watermelon dragon. Success. I feel it means we are going to succeed at healing our trauma. Woo woo! Edgar said, good morning, everyone. Many blessings to everyone. Happy Yule. Happy Yule, Edgar. Oh my goodness. He says, I'm still waking up, still in bed, just woke up this minute and was like, the live. I almost thought about wearing my pajamas in the live chat today because they're kind of cute. They're like little llama's pajama, like they're llama pajamas, like for Yule. But, I guess I'll get dressed, whatever's. Um, Caitlin said, I will admit, even though I don't remember it all, I cut a girl's ponytail off in preschool. I remember I had a really good friend in elementary school. His name was Charlie. And there was these boys that used to bully him. And the reason they used to bully him is because I grew up in a very Hispanic neighborhood. And he was maybe the one Caucasian kid in the whole neighborhood. So they picked on him and they made fun of the color of his skin. They made fun of the color of his eyes, the color of his hair. They said all these nasty things about him, that he didn't know how to do this or that because he was Caucasian. So he got beat up like on a regular basis by the kids in the neighborhood. And at one point, he had one of those like ducktails in the back, where he had short hair, but he had like a little curly like pigtail or ducktail, I don't know what that's called, in the back. And the kids grabbed it and they ripped all of it out of his head, and he was bleeding so profusely back there. And he turned around. He kicked their ass because, by the way, he was like 2 foot taller because we're all Hispanic, right? Like everybody's really short. So he kicked their ass. He got sent to the principal's office. I remember I was there trying to like say what happened to my friend, and this was like in, I don't know, like fourth or fifth grade maybe. And I was trying to say what happened, and the principal was saying that no matter what they did to him, that didn't condone him laying a hand on him, a hand on those children. And so they suspended him. Nothing happened to the other boys, because they said that maybe they felt threatened by um, him being so tall, that's why they did that. So the school justified what those boys did to him. And once he returned, they continued to beat him up. And every time he would try to go to the principal said that if he complained one more time about getting beat up, that he was going to be sent to a different school, because this was all his fault. And so he did. He left. I think his mom ended up homeschooling him, and I saw him a couple of other times, like in summer school. But yeah, he just went to homeschool, and it was just like, that was awful. That was freaking awful. More trauma to heal from. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. B said, my favorite class to teach was pre-K because it really didn't have much of an established curriculum. We could just be ourselves. That is so cool. You know what I liked, because I've taught a lot of different grade levels, 9th through 12th. I was a secondary school teacher. I liked the goofiness and the still childlike nature of a ninth grader, but I liked also my seniors because I could kind of talk to them a little bit more logically, but they were still like big kids. So I don't know. My favorite grade, I don't know if I have a favorite grade, but I know that of all the classes I've taught, because I've taught theater, I've taught English, I've taught a class where kids were making up their credits, credit retrieval class, so they can graduate. I've taught ESL, English as a second language, and I think that it was my ESL kids. Those were my favorite. Like, they're rad. I love those kids. Um, Lady Knight says there is a school in Russia where the kids learn everything kids learn in 12 years, normally within just 1 year. Kids are teaching kids, and there is no indoctrination. Wow, that's cool. Andrew said, I don't remember summer middle school due to bullying. Oh, wow. Lady Knight says they spend about 10 to 20 days full time, just one on one topic like math, any other subject, and they learn from each other, different age groups all together. That is so cool. Edgar's got to go wash off his crusty eyes. Peg says, I have lots of school horror stories about teachers. I'm thankful I was guided to not listen to the programming and realized at an early age you don't always have to listen to your elders. I wish I would have learned that sooner. Caitlin said, that's racism. Yes. Andrew said, sorry to hear about your friend too. Susan said, sending healing to the collective. My goodness, what goes on is mind boggling. Yep. Caitlin says, sorry, YouTube probably flagged my last comment. I don't think YouTube is looking at my channel anymore. um, Susie said, it is horrific. Wow. Yeah. So, you know, I'm glad we're having these conversations. I do feel like they are healing, though. Just like, I guess the things that come to mind as, traumatic, or we think about our formative years, our schooling years. The more this comes up, I think where we can see, in a non-triggered state right now, because I don't think we're really triggered right now, but just to kind of see, oh, ooh, that's an area that maybe I got to go back and heal. Oh, that's another area. Oh, there's another one. So I think this is good. I think this is good that we're just kind of chatting and we can just kind of civilly talk about the past so that we can heal that in the present. And then we'll leave the past in the past when we heal. um, B says, granted, I taught in Korea, so pre-K was before all the pressure, expectations, etc. I got first graders breaking down after realizing they got a question wrong. Kids are kids globally. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what I learned too. I guess, having my ESL kids, a lot of them were from the Middle East. They're from Afghanistan. They're from Iraq. They're from Turkey. They're from, I had a few kids from Mexico. I had one student who, she was an exchange student from China, but the school didn't know how to do exchange students, so they stuck her in an EL program, even though she was fluent in English, could read and write in English. So I don't know. I think she had a very unique experience that year. Because she was like not, she was supposed to be put in regular classes because it's an exchange program, but the school's like, what's an exchange program? Like, how do we even do that? I'm like, oh my gosh. But I worked in the hood, so that's how that was done. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and let's sling some cards. I know some of you guys have been slinging cards, and I really do appreciate your messages. I think they're fabulous, which, by the way, anybody who watches the replay, please read the chat. The chat is freaking amazeballs. The chat is most of this live chat. I'm just here. I'm just a face, but you guys are the ones with like wells of information, and I love your stories. I love how you guys can open up your heart chakra and your throat chakras and just speak your truths here, and feel safe to do so. So yeah, anybody who watches these replays, watch the chat, read the chat. Okay. I want to slang some cards for this week, as this is Yule week. We have the solstice coming up on Thursday, the 21st. And it's celebrated, sometimes between the 20th and the 23rd, is different cultures around the world are celebrating the solstice in their own unique ways. I celebrate mine in a more paganistic way, which is just, I guess, term for non-religious, more nature-ish, I guess, and plus my own flair, I suppose. So yeah, James and I'll be doing some stuff here by the Yule tree on Thursday. So we have some stuff to pick up in town on Monday. Actually, we have some packages to drop off. So thank you to everybody who's purchased from Desert Cauldron. We have your packages. They will be en route on Monday, tomorrow. But let's see what we have for this upcoming week, and then let's create a spread together. I think this will be amazing. Thank you for voting on that. I think that whatever you guys voted on, I'm gonna have fun doing. So cool beans. Um, let's see. Susie said, I was one of those kids who get sick over a test. Oh man, I was a horrible tester. Like tests were not for me. I would have like panic attacks. Caitlin says, I remember once I ran into a Hispanic family while I was grocery shopping and I said hello, and the little girl looked around for a moment, then back at me and said, You're talking to me? Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So if you guys would like to slang some cards, or if you don't have your cards, you just want to pull down some information, some messages about this upcoming week, about Yule, whether it's messages about maybe things for us to be prepared for, look out for, things to embrace, maybe some healing messages for the week that we could take with us, as we go into this week, that would be amazeballs. I appreciate you guys. So let's see. What do we have coming up for Yule? Any healing messages? Anything we should be aware of? Let's pull 4 cards. I'm feeling like 4 cards. There's one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is like too many cards. Maybe it's a very energized week. Or maybe my hands are just cold, which is weird because I'm like sweating bullets in the sun here. I think it's supposed to get up to 50 something today, which is pretty warm. Okay, I'm gonna pull a card here, and then let's pull from the fairy forest, actually. Okay, let's do that. There's my fairy forest, by the way. Oh, and I'm using the Green Witch Tarot, in case anybody's interested. Okay. Burp. And do. Oh, all the birdies are here. Hey, guys. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. Andrew says, I just got invited to a solstice celebration. It will be my first. Oh, that sounds amazing. You gotta let us know how that goes next week. Peg says, bombarded by 3D. Good to see it all. Have a wonderful week. All right. You have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Susie said, success, again, a successful conclusion to an important undertaking is assured. How cool. All right. I have 3 of chalices. It's like your 3 of cups. I have the high priest, which would be like your Hierophant. And I have the 3 of pentacles. Okay. So let's put these all together. And I realized we have the Hierophant basically is being flanked by the 3s, with the 3 of cups and the 3 of pentacles. So let's go into this. Okay, so this is more of something that you guys could try for this week, is what the message is. But it's saying to I know that there are some people that are making things for Yule, or they're crafting things for Christmas, or whatever the upcoming holiday is for you. And it says to try something that you haven't created before. So maybe you've never tried your hand at sewing before, or quilting. Like I've never quilted before, maybe some of you guys could try your hand at helping someone fix a car. Maybe some of you are like, well, I don't know anything about cars, but this is about getting outside your comfort zone, creating something where you're either creating something for the season itself, Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it may be, or you're actually creating a gift for somebody. But see if you can get out of your comfort zone in doing so. Like maybe every year you always, I don't know, make baked goods for people. And you're maybe not so good when it comes to beading, like beading, like making necklaces or earrings, but maybe that's something you want to try this year. And the message is the most important part about this project, whatever project it is that you're going to undertake, whether you're making gifts or you're making something for the season, is the fact that you're trying something new. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. And some people might be like, oh, but I don't want to give like a crappy gift to somebody because, I don't know how to quilt, let's say. I don't know how to quilt. And like, and if I tried to like make a quilt and give it to somebody, it's going to look like the ugliest quilt. But they're saying here, um, the energy of this season is not about things being perfect and beautiful and looking like they were store bought, for somebody, but it's about you making something from your heart. It's about you trying something new. And when let's say it's not the most perfect looking quilt in the world and you give it to somebody, they feel the energy in that, and that gives them, it's their permission slip for them to try something outside their comfort zone. Okay, we're back. So it's not about, giving them something that you know that you could do with your eyes closed and that it's perfect and beautiful. It's about you getting out of your comfort zone to give them permission to get out of their comfort zone. That's that real gift that you're giving people this year. So this is just a suggestion. This is something that you could do for people leading up to our celebrations. Um, it's up to you, but it would be a more healing type gift to give people. So again, it's not the actual items that you guys are making, but it's the energy behind it, giving them the permission slip. Okay, so let's look at that oracle card that I pulled, and we have Awen, gift, divine inspiration, and awakening. And let's dive into this one. Actually, that just backs up everything I just said. It's being inspired to create something, knowing that this is not my area of expertise. I am so not good at X, Y, or Z, but I'm going to try it anyway because this is where we learn about ourselves. This is where we allow some of those shadows to come up. Like, let's say I have a perfectionist shadow, and to try something that I know that I'm don't really have a good handle on would bring up that shadow. There's healing in that. There's a reason that you're creating that item that's outside the comfort zone, because we want these shadows to come up so that you can heal. And so that when you give that gift, you're gifting them the opportunity for them to try something outside their comfort zone so that their shadows come up and that they can heal as well. Like, I don't think you can buy that gift in stores. I mean, you tell me. Okay. All right. So that sounds amazing. That sounds really amazing. Okay. Let me grab my pen and paper, my special little fountain pen here, my little Conklin American. Those of you that are into fountain pens, maybe it's just me, but I'm a nerd for fountain pens, and this is my Conklin American. Woo! And I'm going to be using this to create our spread today. So you guys are coming up with our Yule spread questions. I'll put it all together. Maybe I'll maybe create a shape that this could be in, or maybe you guys think of the shape that it could be in. And then let's answer our own questions together. Okay, let's see. Do, do, do. Lady Knight said, I drew some cards, Empress, Two of Swords, Three of Cups. We've been having ideas and desires to change some things. Decisions are coming. but we don't have to do this alone. We've got other people for help. Nice. Aurora said, Lady Night, you got 3 cups. Yep, same as what I got. That's amazing. Aurora said, how is Dr. Mystical Lady Night? I've been so out of touch with everyone lately. B says, I'm getting similar message from my decks. I got a loneliness, celebration, and fearless expression card from the Story Oracle and Sacred Creators deck. That's what I love about the live chats. Like you could see like the synchronicities and messages. It's so cool. Aurora says, I've been hearing a lyric ever since last night. There's no regret, wise love and hate always a step ahead. What's left? Caught in betrayal, we fail. I don't know why I felt the need to say that. Well, you know what? Put it out there. I'm sure that it's for a reason. So I'm glad you put it out there, especially people that watch the replay. Sometimes I get messages from people who have, watched the replay and they leave the comment like, oh my gosh, that reading so resonated, or, I needed to hear that. So I love it. I love it. Okay, so here we go. The number 7 has been coming up for me a lot lately. So I'm just going to put the number 7 at the top of this paper and let's come up with 7 Yule questions around the Yule celebration, healing questions that we can ask ourselves as the return of the sun, comes the longer days after having the shortest night. It's the Oak King's victory over the Holly King, in a few witchy traditions. So what questions may you guys have? And I'm going to start writing those questions here. I'm actually going to use this as like my thing to write on. But let's come up with 7 questions. And let's put that in a cool little like spread style. And let's pull some cards on the questions you guys create. So let's do this together. This will be our spread. I will try to get on the computer sometime this week, obviously before Yule, and like actually take all the questions that you guys had, type them up, put it up, on a nice little post, on Instagram. I'll try to also post that to my YouTube channel page, where it has like the spread picture and all the questions. You guys, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not being so eloquent at the moment. Let's see. Lady Knight says, I don't actually know Dr. Mystical. Oh, okay. And then Edgar says, I stapled my first grade teacher's hand because he was real mean. He would hit us on the head with his school ring. I was a cancer kid, emotional, spiteful, and vindictive. Dude, that's like abuse. Why are they hitting the kids? What? All right, Susie has a question. How can we share more light with others in the new year? All right, let's write that down. Actually, Susie, thank you for doing it that way. And Aurora, I see your question too. We'll add that question. But if you guys have a question for the spread, put it in all caps, just like Susie. It's just easier for me to see. But I see Susie's, I see Caitlin's question. Caitlin says, how do you celebrate holidays by yourself when you don't have any loved ones to celebrate with? That could be a good question. For me, I mean, if I was all technically, I mean, to just personally answer the question, if I was all by myself, I would just be with the forest animals here. I'd be celebrating with the coyotes and the bunnies and the birds. And I'd be like, most unique celebration ever. Cool with me. Okay, so question number 1. Let me write Susie's question. How can we share more light with others in the new year? Okay, how can we share more others in the new year? Excellent question. Okay. And then we have Caitlin's question. How do you celebrate holidays by yourself when you don't have any loved ones to celebrate with? So how to celebrate, we'll say how to celebrate the holiday solo. Solo when you don't have anybody to celebrate with? Anyone to celebrate with. Okay. And then we have Lady Night. What do I need to leave in the old year that won't serve me in the new year? Okay. What do I have to leave the old year that won't serve me in the new year? The new year. Okay. Edgar says, I got the Night Sun Tarot on me. Ooh, awesome. Edgar says, Susie, it's okay. I learned to leave me alone because bad stuff would happen to him right after doing stuff to me. Oh my goodness. All right. Lady Knight has another question. How can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? I love it. How can I be a better friend to myself? Can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? To others. All right. And then Lisa has a question. How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? How can I work towards creating? How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy? Legacy to give to humanity. All right. Susie says, these are all wonderful questions. Lisa says, Lady Night, excellent question. Lily, Grand Rising all. Hello, hello. Okay, so we have room for two more questions for this spread. I'll read to you what I have so far, especially people who are just coming into the chat. We're creating a Yule spread together with your guys' help. Question number 1, how can we share more light with others in the new year? Number 2, how to celebrate the holiday solo when you don't have anyone to celebrate with. Number 3, what do I have to leave in the old year that that won't serve me in the new year? Number 4, how can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? Number 5, how can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? And then we have a couple more. Aurora says, Mary meet Tara Lynn. Oh, Tara Lynn. Oh, that is a cool name. You know, my my parents almost named me Tara Lynn. So that's kind of cool. It was after they came up with like, we'll name her Bridget. And then they're like, no, we'll name her Tara Lynn. And then it was like, no, we'll just name her Tara. So cool, so cool. All right. Let's see if it's going to be 7 questions. While you guys come up with the next 2 questions, maybe this will just be in the form of like the Yule log, or maybe, maybe we can do it as the star, the pentacle. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, Lily says, how can I stay focused on me and my own goals without getting sidetracked by others and the mundane? Wonderful question. How can I stay focused on me? We have room for one more question, you guys. Stay focused on me and my own goals without getting sidetracked. Sidetracked by others and the mundane. And the mundane. All right, final question, final question. It's up to you, it's up to you. All right, we have our final question and it's coming from Caitlin. Caitlin says, how can we better recognize the false lighters so we're not lured by the false words, their false words? Oh, I love that. How can we better recognize the false lighters? We better recognize false lighters so we're not lured by their false words. So we're not lured by their false words. All right. Thank you. Yes, Susie, as she says, thank you all. Thank you all so much. These are wonderful questions. Let's go ahead and pull cards on this. I mean, it's your guys' spread, but like I said, I'll make it look really nice. I'll put it in picture format along with the questions, and I'll post that to my YouTube public page and also to Instagram so that you guys have it. You can, you know, whatever, copy, paste it, download it, screenshot it so that you guys could use it for yourselves. And we will call it the KWT Live Chat Crew Yule Spread. KWT Live Chat Crew Live Chat Yule Spread. All right. And yeah, we'll do it in our we'll do it in this beautiful shape of the pentagram or the pentacle. But yeah, thank you guys. Oh, sorry, it was hard to see the camera. The sun's like blaring. Love the sun, by the way. Keep it up. But all of your beautiful, wonderful questions. I love when we do this. We've done this a few times before in the past, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that we got to do this together today. But dude, let's use our spread. Let's pull some cards. Heck yeah. I want to use V Love and Crystal's Winter Embrace Oracle for this. And you guys go ahead and pull some cards for yourselves. I'm going to, for this, I'll pull some cards since this is more like a personal spread for each and every one of us for Yule. Pull the cards for your own personal journey. I'll pull some cards for my own personal journey based on the questions that you guys came up with. KS Worker is here. Hello, hello. Lily says, how do we stop wanting to punch them in the throat when one finds out? Wow. Lady Knight says, OMG, for real. I got people at work that rub me the wrong way so much. They are so stuck in the matrix. Oh, hey, you know what? We have quite the channeling. Just based on what you guys are saying, we have quite the channeling for you guys coming out tomorrow. It's already up, but it's going to come out at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 6 a.m. Pacific, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern time. um, and we connected to Christ consciousness. That's right. We talked to the big JC in the most unreligious fashion possible, but we did ask about the religious aspects, like what, you guys will see there. And we were asking some of those questions that you guys are talking about right now about some people that are very stuck in the matrix. Like, what is that? Why is that? Because if everything is balanced and everybody's in their own journey, like what do we do? Do we do nothing? Like, what is just we wanted to know, so I think you guys are going to be at least give you guys some stuff to think about. Um, we definitely want you guys to use your own intuition, of course. Don't just take everything we say as like truth, because sometimes, um, you know, every entity has their own point of view. So, like, what the Christ consciousness's point of view might be different from, let's say talking to a gray or talking to somebody from Andromeda or talking to, um, I don't know, a nature spirit or something like that. So definitely keep an open mind. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. But we figured, a lot of Christians are going to be celebrating Jesus Christ in for Christmas. So we're like, let's tap into Christ consciousness. Let's get it from the soul itself and see what he has to say. So stay tuned tomorrow. Um Caitlin says, exactly, Lady Night, but there are some people on YouTube who are so good at faking. It takes a lot of intuition to realize they are false. This is why you always got to keep that intuition open, keep that heart open. Lady Night says, I'm leaving the opera after this season and I'm not sad about it. It's getting ridiculous there. Woke AF. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I haven't really tried too hard to apply to the opera houses here in Arizona. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sing to the forest because the forest seems to really like that. So it's just me in the forest now, and I'm cool with it. um, Lily said, most definitely ask my guides and guardians to shield me from fako weirdos. Caitlin says, Tara, I used to be an opera singer late at night. Oh yeah, I used to be an opera singer. Yeah. Yes. Um, Katie S says, quick ask, my dog Ladybug is in the animal hospital with pancreatitis. I appreciate any vibes, energy, asking for her comfort, hugs, and love all. Oh my goodness, we will definitely send some healing. This, like I said, for our guided meditation, let's pump out all the mega healing, whether it's for your animals, it's for your friends, which are, our animals are our friends, family, for you guys, whether it's emotional healing, whether it's physical healing. Like, let's really pump it out like like double time, like Care Bear stare times 100. Like, let's do it. And KDS worker will definitely involve your dog Ladybug in that too. I'm really feeling that. Especially with animals lately, a lot of stuff with animals needing some extra love and healing and recovering energy. Like, let's put that out there. I've been getting that all week. Edgar says he got the Six of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, being in a position for charity. Hanged Man in the Tower, sacrifice is needed, and the destruction of old ways and pride is needed. And Caitlin saying, Karen, I'm so sorry. KDS said, Forrest probably loves you so much. Well, I love the forest. I mean, we're just trying to give back because they give us so much, animals included. They are the forest. Susie says, affection, trusting, and harmonious responsibility, the Lover's card from Zolar's Tarot for question number 1 for me. All right, yes, let's get to that first question. Lady Night also sending some love to Ladybug. Susie said, Karen, sending her love and healing. Sorry you both are going through this. John says, better late than never, I hope. Hey, John, you are just in time. Caitlin said, Ladybug, that used to be my nickname. Gran would always call me Katybug because a ladybug landed on my shirt at a family picnic. Aw, that's so sweet. Well, John, we have created a live chat Yule spread together. Everybody here came up with some questions. So we have 7 questions. And I'm actually going to post these questions along with like the spread picture on my YouTube channel, but also to my Instagram so that you guys can screenshot it, download it, so you guys have the questions for your own personal use. But we're going to pull some personal cards. So you guys are pulling cards for yourselves. I'm pulling cards for me for this one because it is a personal spread that you guys created for the community. And I'll read through the questions real quick, but let's go with the first question. It says, how can we share more light with others in the new year? How can we share more light with others in the new year? The following questions go as such: how to celebrate the holidays solo when you don't have anyone to celebrate with. What do I have to leave in the old year that won't serve me in the new year? How can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? How can I stay focused on me and my goals without getting sidetracked by others in the mundane? How can we better recognize the false lighters so we're not lured by their false words? All right. And so those are the questions the chat came up with. So starting with the first one, and I'll just pull it, for me, but you guys obviously pull these cards for you too. How can we share more light with others in the new year? Let's see. How can we How can I share more light with others in the new year? How can I share more light with others in the new year? And here I have protection. Look at that cute little husky. All right, let's see. What does this mean for me? How can I share more light with others in the new year? And this question, by the way, brought to you by Susie. Ah, okay. So for me, it's being more present, more cognizant of the energy that surrounds me, the energy that I'm in. Protecting my energy, but also protecting my energy from my own ego, recognizing my ego from my higher self, and just being really present with that, so that the light I do share is coming from a place of source, a place from my heart, a place from my higher self, rather than perhaps letting some infiltration from the ego come into place. So that's how I can share more light with others in the new year, is being more present with my own energy so that I know what type of light I'm putting out there with everyone. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. Um, Katie says, I don't have cards, so please don't think I'm not participating. Hey, no worries. And also, hey, if you guys just want to bring down some channel guidance, some messages that way, use your good old intuition. That's cool too. Slang the runes. um, Susan, Karen, no worries, but feel free to share any downloads, of course. Lady Knight says, I got the Eight of Swords. Guess I need to get unstuck first before I can shine again and stop worrying so much. Katie says, I do get downloads. And Susie thought that was a pretty cute card. Me too. James and I were communicating with the dogs and the coyotes last night. We were on a mission. Okay, question number 2 for you all. You guys said or asked how to celebrate the holiday solo when you don't have anyone to celebrate with. This question brought to you by Aurora, aka Caitlin. So, how to celebrate the holiday solo if I didn't have anybody to celebrate with? This is good to keep in mind so that I don't um, say that my happiness is contingent on, let's say, James, because he is the other person here. So, how could I just be happy in the holidays, just myself, being me, and bring that to the table instead of saying the holidays is happy because James is going to do X, Y, or Z. So, let's see. How can I celebrate the holidays solo? How to celebrate the holidays solo. All right, we have miracles. All right, so this would be, I think, for myself, if having James out of the equation and just focusing on just being happy with the holidays and just being happy with me, and then like I said, bring that to the table. is kind of doing what we were doing at the start of this live chat. We were reflecting on the past, seeing where the healing was needed because of those programmings, those traumas, and bringing that into the present. And so in the present, for me, just, reflecting on all of those things, reflecting on who have I allowed to create me? I say allowed because that's, it's always a choice, especially when we become conscious of it. Maybe not so much as children. It might be a little bit harder as children to make the conscious choice. But like some of you guys said, you made conscious choices to not always respect authority or elders because you know that they don't maybe always have your best interest at heart. So um, how can I show gratitude for that journey? How can I show gratitude for where I am, for all the people, whether they were a positive or negative influence in my life? And by doing so, and recognizing all of those people, all of those situations, all of those animals, all of the places I've ever lived, I can't help but feel full. And how could I be alone when all of those experiences are a part of my energy and that I'm working through those experiences? I'm reprogramming myself, I'm healing myself. Um, and so all of that surrounds me, and I'm changing it here in the present. And so maybe it's not a physical person like our ego would like, but for me, it's an energy. If I'm surrounded by all that energy and I'm actively doing something, I'm actively healing, I'm actively sifting through it, showing gratitude, love for self, love for them, releasing, um, I don't have time to feel alone because there's action taking place. So, yeah, I guess it would be kind of like a little miracle on 34th Street. um, all right, you guys are coming up with some fantastic questions, by the way. Um, B got the Six of Swords. Karen says, I watch holiday comedies and eat my favorite food, pizza. Ooh, pizza. Lady Knight said, Two of Wands. I got the entire world in my computer or smartphone. So I can look at any Christmas movie or festivity online and also do video calls if travel isn't possible. And she said, and don't forget the Hallmark movies. Of course. Susie said, Knight of Cups, a young man with light brown hair and hazel eyes. Good news, an invitation to a social affair. And she says, Hallmark movies are rad. Aurora said, that sounds a lot like Andrew, Susie. Terry Lynn said, thank you all for the kind words. I sat down to watch and the family called me away. Hey, no worries, no worries. The replay will always be here. Okay, question number 3. What do I have to leave in the old world, or sorry, the old world, the old year that won't serve me in the new year? What do I have to leave behind in the old year that won't serve me in the new year? Okay, so what am I leaving behind? What am I leaving behind? Let's see. Let's have a little bit more tea. What am I leaving behind, yo? Ooh, beacon. Although I see this as kind of a tower. So let's look at that. Oh, man. It's such a bright sunny day, dude. They're chemtrailing again, but only by the sun. So there's just this weird haze that's starting to form around the sun. Dude, bunch of D-wads. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Beacon, which looks more like a tower to me. Let's see what this means for me personally. What do I have to leave behind in the old year that's not going to serve me in this new year? Fear and worry of the future. Got it. It's a message that's been coming in a lot. Thank you, higher self. I get it. I'm listening. But any fear or worry about the future is not what I need to take into the new year. Um, that's an old paradigm. That is an old way of my operating and thinking. My mind is forever either in the future or forever in the past. I always have such a hard time being here in the present. But that's something that I need to gift myself is the present in the new year. where I so yeah, it's leaving all those fears and worries behind because it's 100% my ego. So I get that. Okay, loud and clear. I hear you. All righty. Susie says, maybe not so alone for someone with my card or ask someone to share time. Very nice. Andrew says, I'm not as young as I wish anymore. What is young and old anyway? Like, let's just live to 200, guys. Karen said, great questions. Lady Knight said, Five of Swords, leave pettiness and wanting to always be right. Ooh, I agree with that too. Because that used to be my argumentative Gemini self. Like I always had to be right. And now that I think about it, I'm like, ooh, I'm leaving that behind. Let's see. Caitlin said, Andrew, we've talked about this. You're younger than my birth parents, like 2 or 3 years younger. B said, Eight of Pentacles, leaving behind work pressures. Andrew said, thank you. It's not the number, but all the things that got put off until later. And Aurora is saying that Andrew is a sweet, solid man. Ah. Oh, Susie's like, pass. Too much to write here. All right, no worries. Karen said there is a stoicism idea about why have opinions. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Question number 4 out of 7, out of the 7 questions you guys created. Question number 4, how can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? I think this is also another great question that you guys created. How can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? And I was thinking about that as I was thinking about my friends lately. I have my little core group of friends. You know, I don't need a ton of people to call friends, just people who see me at the soul level. I guess it's kind of like the avatar. I see you. You know, as corny as it sounds, that's what I like. Friends that see me, really see me. And I hope that they feel that way about me, that I really see them. But anyway, how can I be a better friend to myself before being a friend to others? Because the Lord knows and Goddess knows that sometimes I have not been such a good friend to myself. All right, we have euphoria. All right, so to be a better friend to myself is to actually do the things that light me up, regardless of what other people think, what society's doing, what's going on with the situation. It's like if I feel like, I mean, maybe not right now, but if I feel like dancing naked in the forest, like just dance naked in the forest. Like, would people think I'm a weirdo for it? Probably, but that doesn't matter because this is my journey and not theirs. And I think that I would like other people, I would definitely tell my friends, you know, you do you, boo. You know, you want to go dance naked in the forest or you want to be in your house and like, you know, go stand on your head, like by all means, go, oh, hello, Blue Jay. You're awfully close. Hi. Yeah, you like that energy, don't you? The Blue Jays are just like that. The Blue Jays don't give up. You know, the Blue Jays are their own person. They don't care what the other birds in the forest think about them. Oh, he's in the Yule tree. They don't care about what the deer think about them. They don't care what the bunnies think about them. They're like, we help people because or other animals and people because we feel like it. We just do our thing. So duly noted. Thank you. So I will do me. I will just do the things that I feel like doing, even if people think they're weird, even if it's oddly not social or sociable. You know, I will just do me. And I think that's a great thing because that's something I would tell my friends, and I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't follow my own advice. So I gotcha. All right. Um, And Karen says, opinions serve for what purpose? Um, I think people just like to weigh in on what others are doing because it's actually people questioning, you know, like let's take being naked in the forest, for example. Let's say if somebody weighed in with their opinion and they said, oh, I don't think that's sanitary. I mean, like, what if you got cut? What if you fell down? What if you got mauled by a bear? Or, whatever. It's just their opinions, right? But I think what they're really trying to say is we're not trying to tell you what to do. We're trying to make sense of what you're doing and how can we do something like that? How can we have that free expression? So really, it's just an opinion on it, and you can engage in conversation with it. You can mull it over in your mind. You can give them an answer or not give them an answer. But I think that's what opinions are for, really, is just for the person giving the opinion to really mull something over in their head. They're really trying to figure something out. And maybe they're triggered by what you're doing. And so in that case, their shadow is coming up, which is great. Their trigger or their shadow, or both. Um, and so it gets them to question things. They're questioning themselves. So although it may sound like they're projecting, which maybe that's what they're doing, projecting their thoughts and opinions onto you and their ideals, what they're really saying is, how can your world be so different from mine? And that's where the healing takes place. um, and then Karen wants to know if opinions exist in the higher self. I would suppose they do. All the channelings that I've done, all these different entities have different perspectives. So I guess the different perspectives would then be actually like different opinions on something. Like you ask a gray what Earth is all about, they'll give you one answer. You ask Christ consciousness what Earth is all about, he'll give you another answer. You ask the blue jay back there what Earth is all about, you're going to get another third entirely different answer. But they all have opinions on the matter based on their energy, what they are, their experiences, their type of higher self. And I think that it's great to take all that into consideration. Actually, that's why we like doing channelings, because we know that not one entity has all the answers for everything. It's just that entity's perspective and opinion, but it's not necessarily true for everything. Because, like, what is truth? Truth is actually not one answer. It's like, who knows, trillions of different types of answers. And the reality and the truth is based on that perception. So I don't know. Interesting. Um, Susie said, OMG, hangman reverse, useless sacrifice, false friendships. I know what that means. No one here, though. B said, Queen of Pentacles, nourish and care for self, both nutrition and mental health. Lady Night, the devil, look at things that I might be addicted to and see if I really need them in the future. John says, okay, I'm going to dance naked in the forest. That's what I'm taking away with this from this. Okay, cool beans. Hey, I'm on with it. I'm on board. Lily says, the Blue Jays at my house are gangster. I try to feed the squirrels and the Blue Jays come and take it all. Poor little squirrels. Oh, dude, it's the reverse here. Miss Squirrel has like dibs on everything. We're like, let the Blue Jays have some. But you know what? The Blue Jays like wake up late or something. They're so late to the party. None of the birds here abide by the rule like early bird gets the worm. I don't think they went to school for that. So they didn't never learned it. Like because the early bird, quote unquote, is the squirrels, the rabbits, the deer. They're up way before the birds. I'm like, who came up with this term? um, let's see. Lisa says, I think it's good to have opinions so others don't do your thinking for you. Nice. I like it. I like that. Okay. Question number 5. How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? Actually, speaking of Lisa, this was Lisa's question. How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? Oh, all right. We have a card pop out, and I have a delicate. Very nice. Let's see, Caitlin says, Andrew, do I have time after the live to talk, or do you have to work? Oh, you guys gonna chitty chat. Okay. All right. How can I work towards creating the greatest legacy to give to humanity? How can I do that? Mm. Well, I think that we all have a very unique legacy to leave humanity, to give to humanity, because although we are all one, like I said, we are all very unique higher selves, souls, whatever you want to call it, essence. And all of that comes together for the greater good, as they say. But yes, it all comes together for this one ball of energy, which is us, source energy. And so, my piece of that, I think, is to be gentle with myself. Sometimes I can be, maybe I came up with the word perfectionist earlier because I do get into a perfectionist mode. Sometimes I get a little hurt if I can't do something perfectly right away. I mean, although there are many things that I'm good at, like straight away, there are a lot of things that I have to train for. And that just stems from programming from school, as we were talking about earlier, where if I am not perfect and I don't get the straight A's, if I'm not this or that, then I have no self worth. I know where that's actually stemming from. You know, my parents were basing my worth based on what I was doing in school, based on grades. That was me. That's all you are. You're just a grade. You're just a whatever the report the teacher says. So basically, you are what everybody else says you are. That's what was trying to be reinforced. Although this was obviously subconscious on everybody's part, is that the external world defines you. It's that you need to submit to how everybody else wants you to be, because that's the only way you're going to be loved. That's the only way you're going to be perfect. So, me wanting to do things perfectly the first try stems from that. Like, oh, that if I don't do it perfectly, then I'm dumb or I'm not good. I'm not a good person. When really, like, everybody has to practice, everybody has to train for things. It's very rare that people are just like perfect straight away. And even if they are good at first, they still can train to be better. And so that's something I have to reinforce in myself, is to be more gentle with myself, to remember that I am human. I'm just like every other human on this planet. I'm not perfect. Machines are perfect. I am not a machine. So, how can I ever be perfect? And what is perfect? Perfection is subjective. What one person deems perfect, another person deems crap. So, I'm going to keep that in mind. Duly noted. Duly noted. And that's something I can give to humanity, is, if I can do that for myself, remember, the healing of the self helps the healing of the whole. So if I can be gentle with myself, I'm showing others to be gentle with themselves. So let's see. Lady Knight got 2 of Cups. Love is the answer. Caitlin said, good deal. I'll DM you on the Instagram later. B says, 3 of Pentacles. Work with others and collaborate to build legacy. No need to take on everything. Susie's like, LOL. A blonde woman possessing a magnetic personality, success in many understandings. The Queen of Wands, find my fire, is the message for me. Very nice. B, and even machines have issues and software bugs. Exactly. Exactly. So, like, what is perfect? There is no perfect. Perfect is a matrix illusion idea to keep us in a low vibration, to keep us away from our heart space, to keep us out of our higher self. They tell you that your self worth comes from outside yourself and not from within, that you are quote unquote perfect just the way you are, because you are. Maybe that's what actual perfection is, and that it doesn't look like any one thing. All right. Question number 6. And I believe this came from Lily. How can I stay focused on me and my own goals without getting sidetracked by others and the mundane? How can I stay focused on me and my own goals without getting sidetracked by others and the mundane? Great question. John says machines are designed to run at between 25 to 30% of their capacity. We can push ourselves to about 90%. We are a lot better than machines. Agreed. Agreed. I agree with that. Hell yeah, I agree with that. Hmm. Okay. All right. So, how can I personally stay focused on me and my own goals without getting sidetracked by others in the mundane. And we have enchantment. Um, Susie got the smiley face. Okay, enchantment. Let's see. Okay, in the making sure that I stay present always, and stay grounded, staying within my heart space. Um, Whenever I find myself like, I could blame it on, oh, I'm a Gemini, so this and that, but really I have control over these things. I can be conscious of these things. I could allow my attention to go here and there and here and there. I'm like, ooh, shiny thing over here. Ooh, magpie energy over here. I could allow myself to do that, and that is a choice. Um, I could allow myself to become ungrounded. I could allow my mind to race and decide, my let my ego take the wheel, and my ego says, hey, you don't need to heal right now, look at this shiny thing over here. Oh, hey, yeah, you're healing, but let's stop the meditation early because you just remembered that you have to bake something, or you just remembered you have to go do this thing. Anything, the ego will do anything to bring you back to the ego. The ego doesn't like not getting its attention. So it's like, ooh, she's dropping into the heart space. What can I do to distract her, to get her out of that? And so, um, really, it's being understanding that the most enchanting thing, as we have the word enchantment here, the most enchanting and beautiful, shiny, magnificent thing I could pull my attention towards is right inside here. That nothing in my outside world, whether it's a to-do list, it's a brand new shiny tarot deck, whether it's remembering I have to go do this or that or call this person, but everything is right here. And that this takes precedence over that outside world, because if I want to help that outside world, I have to help me here first. So it's just a perspective. Who am I allowing to be in charge? So how to stay focused on me without getting sidetracked is to recognize when my ego is the one trying to sidetrack me, is when my ego is like, hey, look at this person over here, look what they're doing, isn't that bad, look at them. The ego wants to gossip, the ego wants you to be judgmental. The ego is like, hey, girlfriend, ooh, you got a zit on your face, what are you going to do about that? The ego is a piece of shit. you know the ego wants you to do anything and everything that is so surface level. Um, yeah. So staying in my heart space, staying in the higher self. Do you think my blue avian higher self gives a crap if I have a pimple? Do you think they care about what that person is doing over there? No, they care just about me. They're like, you have a mission to help these people. You cannot help them by telling them what to do. Like, that's not how you help people. That's what a dictator does. That's what an ego does. You know, come back to you. Like, just worry about yourself. And then you can help others from that place. But you can't help others by ignoring the internal and just focusing on the external. So, all right, I get you. I get you, higher self. Blue avian is pretty rad. I, I am trying to embody my higher self much, much more. Okay, let's see here. Susie says, loyalty, courage, and strength, leadership, and self control. The Emperor. Lady Knight said, Queen of Swords, just cut through the BS and focus on what's important. Stay on topic. Make a schedule and stick to it. Um, really, I really need to do that. B says, Four of Cups, opportunities, keys are everywhere. I have all that I need to get to the next step. Caitlin says, LOL, Queen of Swords is my card, Lady Knight. Susie said, I just noticed Santa on a unicorn. Oh, you like that? um, she said, powerful. Caitlin said, I think I've been so wrapped up in my ego that I've been missing the obvious. It happens, and that's what the journey is. And we shouldn't get down on ourselves for it. We just learn and we move on. Andrew says, I've been learning to let go of things again. Things seem to be getting better this way. Lily said, enchantment. Uh, great. So one must stop falling for the enchantment of the ego. Exactly. The ego's like, ooh, like spellbound. Looky over here. Look at oh, look away from the heart. Look away. Like the opposite of telling Carol Ann to go to the light. Look away, Carol Ann. Look away. Okay, we have our final question, you guys, for your KWT live chat crew Yule spread. How can we better recognize the false lighters so we're not lured by their false words? This is brought to you by Aurora, aka Caitlin. How can we better recognize the false lighters so we're not lured by their false words? John says, who do you think I am? I mean, really. Susie's like, all great messages. All right. Dude, our ego would like us to believe so many things about ourselves, but the ego is not intuitive. The ego can't tell us one real truth about us. The ego can't. However, the higher self can see the programming that's in the ego, and the ego is actually helping the higher self to see where the healing is needed, where all the programming is needed. But the ego can't tell us, but it can definitely help. I guess it's like a balanced transaction. It can definitely help the higher self see where we need to heal so that we can find out who we really are. All right, so how can we better recognize the false lighters so we're not lured by their false words? And for me personally, I got aftermath. The aftermath. Lily got the Hierophant. Ooh, okay, so let me go in here. Okay, I get you. This, for me, it actually ties into the channeling of Christ consciousness that we did yesterday. That, by the way, comes out tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And one part of the channeling was saying to look at everything as if you were a critic. What is the portion of what I'm reading or seeing or listening, let's say, to somebody? Oh, hey, Blue Jay, you're back. See, you guys like these types of questions, huh? These are straight up a Blue Jay's alley. I get you. um, but see, distraction, ego distraction, whatever. um, but to look at the light and the dark in the person's message. Let's say there's somebody out there and they're spreading a mixture of ego messages with some spiritual messages. So it's my job as a critic to, instead of just allowing my ego to be like, oh wow, that totally just like makes me feel good inside because that makes my ego feel really good, so I resonate with what they're saying because I don't have to look at any other point of view. I'm just listening to somebody that I can agree with and who agrees with me. That's the ego's way of like validating. So instead I could say, okay, I'm listening to what this person's saying. If I were in a classroom, if this person were trying to control me with this message, how would they be able to do so? And then I analyze it in that way. Next thing I do, if this person were trying to awaken me with their message, how would they be able to do so? So then I'm seeing the shadow and the light in this person and in their messages. And perhaps instead of totally disregarding the person and say, they're a false lighter, they got nothing but crappy messages, there's always some niggle of truth in there. There's always some light. So it's my job as the critic to be able to find that light. And so once I have discerned using my higher self and instead of my ego, how they are controlling me with this message and making my ego feel all cozy and cool, and how are they challenging my higher self with this message? How are they helping me to grow and awaken? And I take that with me. Doesn't mean I need to continue listening to them. That's up to me and my higher self, whatever my heart says. But in that way, I have no malice towards that person. I realize that that person had something for me in that moment. Even if they were coming across as super fake, there was something in there that was for me, even if 90% of it was not. And maybe I could do that with a lot of people that I listen to and see is, where is the light and the dark in this person? How am I being lured back into the matrix with this person? And how am I exiting the matrix with this person and their messages and their energy? And in that way, I see things as more balanced instead of bad person, good person, which is very very ego, very good and bad, right and wrong. You know, it's just, there's light and dark in everything. Everything's a shade of gray, I guess you could say. But this is for me, my personal journey, and that's what I'm getting with aftermath, is just to be the critic of everything, in especially the messages I personally channel. How is what I'm channeling trying to control me and bring me back into the matrix? How is what I channeled actually trying to help me out of the matrix? Um, and I take what resonates with the higher self and I leave the rest. So, very cool. You guys had an amazing spread. This is freaking amazeballs. I love this. All right, let's see what you guys had here. Some of those messages. Here we go. Susie said, Queen of Pentacles, I am viewing this as a ground to Mama Gaia so I can have more tools to use discernment, be in nature more. B said, Seven of Pentacles, appearances are just that. There's a lot more happening in the roots. Keep to your own roots and let them guide you. Lady Knight said, High Priestess, just stand in my own light and do my studies and research, double check if I needed. But basically, my intuition will let me know. Spidey sense. Heck yeah. Susie said, looking forward to that video, Tara. John said, okay, everybody, gotta go. Love you all. All right. Mwah! We'll catch you later, John. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a fabulous week. Have a great Yule. Um, Susie said, I feel very hopeful for all of us for 2024. Just saying. Lily says, look for a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't be sheep. Use your wisdom and intuition to discern if they are fake or not. Like they say, what happens in the dark comes to light. Andrew said, 2024 has to be better, right? I think so. Susie reminding him to follow his heart. Everybody says, definitely. All right, I think we have come to the point in our live chat where it's time for that healing meditation. We have some animal friends, like our friend Ladybug, that needs some healing. We have some friends here who need some physical healing, emotional healing, healing as people are going through maybe some dark nights of the soul and have some shadows and programming coming up. Let's send you some of the best energy that we have to give to help you through that. So again, I'm going to point it at the Yule tree and let's do this healing meditation. I encourage you guys to join in on this meditation. I'm just one person. The more people that we have in it, the more energies, the more focus we have in on it, I think the better it is. So whatever way you send energy, whether it's Care Bear stare, whether you do Reiki, whether you're doing little sigils and you're focusing your intention into that's going to be healing for somebody, people, animals, Mama Gaia, whatever it may be, healing so that we awaken, healing so that we can grow and evolve. Let's do it. All right, so let me get out of the way here. Oops. And I'll move my little chair. And okay, I'm gonna move this like that so you guys can get the full ambiance. And hold on, I'm gonna have a quick sip of tea. We're not focusing on the tea. Hold on. A quick sip of tea and we'll get into that meditation. While I'm getting ready, if you guys want to get yourself in a nice comfortable space, whether you are laying down, sitting in a chair, sitting outside, whatever it may be, go ahead and get yourself ready for this meditation. And make it as healing as possible. May you guys all be able to tap into your higher selves, your heart space. so that the best portions of what we have to give reaches those who need it most. Okay, I'm gonna be right here just so I can keep an eye on the screen. So in case it goes offline, sometimes that happens. Okay, or maybe I'll go stand over here. Yes, maybe that's better. Okay, that is better. All right, you guys, go ahead and get nice and cozy. And when you've found a nice space where you won't be interrupted for the next several minutes, I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. The most important thing at this moment is your breath. Recognize the enchantments of the ego. Anytime the ego wants to get you out of the awareness of your breath. If you find distracting thoughts entering your mind, perhaps external distractions, notice them, acknowledge them, and then just bring your awareness back to your breath. No need for judgment, chastising, just bringing your awareness back. And as you breathe, you can go ahead and place perhaps one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And I want you to feel the breath in your body. How are you breathing? Are you breathing in through the mouth, through the nose? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it down into your belly? Where do you feel it? When you inhale this air, do you feel it in your arms, your legs, your head? Just take notice of where this life force energy moves throughout your physical form. And as you exhale, I want you to notice where you're exhaling from. Is it a shallow exhale? Is it a large exhale? Are you exhaling from your feet? Exhaling from your belly? Maybe you're exhaling from your throat. All of these things we can analyze later, but for now, we're just noticing. Continue breathing. And now we focus our attention to Yule. Yule is a time for rebirth. There are many cultures and religions around the world that speak of this rebirth, renewal. Perhaps they talk about the birth of a savior. Perhaps they talk about the conquest over light, over darkness. Perhaps they speak of a light being born, the rising of the sun. But all things are similar in that there is a return of the light. Perhaps this is not a return of the physical light, the physical sun, but perhaps they were speaking of your light. In this time that we spend in a hermitude, looking inwards, looking into our shadows, time of healing, now is the time to recognize your light and that everything that you have learned, you are ready to share with the world. Perhaps you are not sharing it on a platform or in front of a microphone, but you share it by being yourself. You share it in your actions. You share it in how you interact with your fellow human, with animals, with nature, your nature. You are nature. You are Gaia. So, this birth of the sun, this return of the sun, is really a return to your essence, your sun, your light, your solar plexus, your power. And just like the sun helps to bring life to this planet, your sun, your internal sun, helps to bring healing to yourself and everything around you. You are the light of the world, just as the sun is our light of our world. With 9 billion lights on this planet, not counting all of our animal kin, all of our crystals, all of our trees and flowers, with all of this light, we truly do have a chance to rebalance the polarity. And so it's from this place that we send out our healing today. We realize that we are worthy because we were born worthy. We were born already perfect in our own way. We were already born magical. And all we have to do is remember that. That is the rebirth, a remembering. And so we're going to take that light. And I want you to see it within your body now. Where do you feel your light? Is it in your throat? Is it in your heart? Do you feel it in your belly? Do you feel it in your legs, in your hands? Where you feel your light is where your strengths lie, and everybody has strengths. It's a rediscovering. That's what this journey is all about. Rediscovery, reawakening, finding your light. And in this, we seek to help those who need it most. Whether it's an animal like our friend Ladybug, whether it's a situation, perhaps healing from our schooling, the things that we were taught. Now is our chance to tap into our light, a light that we all have. And we're going to shine light all over it. The light of healing, the light of awakening, the light of gratitude, the light of love. And so really feel it now. And if you need to, place your hand where you feel that light. And it is from this place that we are going to send that light outwards. Perhaps you want to send it to a specific animal. Perhaps you want to send it to a situation, particular person. Perhaps it's somewhere within your own body that needs physical healing. But I want you to flood it with your light at this moment. Set your intention. What are you wanting? What do you want for this being, for this situation, for yourself? Do you want to see them full of vitality again? See them whole and healthy. If there is a part of you that feels it is in pain, see it whole and happy, humming along. No more pain. Take your time. And as you send your light, be reminded that you are just as important as every being and everything on this planet. You are as important as the sun. You are as important as the earth beneath your feet. You are as important as our animal kin. You are as important as your best friend. You are as important as you need to be. You are worthy just as you are. You are powerful just as you are. You have something to give the world that nobody else can. And our hope is that we all rediscover what that is. When you're ready, bring your awareness back to the breath. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you feel called to, you can go ahead and open your eyes. All right, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. Put my sunnies back on. That sun is intense. Let's see. Let's go back here. Caitlin says, I want to apologize for last week. Realize now that I needed this have been in front of me all along. I just didn't want to see it until now. No apologies needed. No apologies needed. It is okay. Susie said, thank you. Caitlin says, why do I feel like the annoyed little sister right now? Thank you, Susie. Susie says, please remember to smash that like button. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys, I hope that you have a fabulous Yule. However it is that you celebrate. If you celebrate Christmas, if you are in the midst of celebrating Hanukkah, if you are going to be celebrating Kwanzaa, or you're going to be celebrating some other holiday, however, whatever it is that you guys are doing this week, I hope that you all have a wonderful week. I'm sending you all lots of love. I'll make sure that I single out this meditation and put it into our like a separate video, as I have been doing. And a lot of people seem to be enjoying those, so I'm grateful that you guys like that. And yeah, don't forget to check out tomorrow's channeling, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.